Continue, Vaishnavi.
Yeah. So I was just telling, today I'm feeling calm. So yeah, I had a hectic work week to begin with, but now I'm done. I now have a clear idea of what to expect moving forward.
Lovely.
My idea of work-life balance is subjective and dynamic. So it changes from person to person, and even to me, there's no one fixed balance. It differs from time to time. I create my work life balance by uh, trying to be mindful of the time I spend. I spend on each of these activities, be it doing work related activities at home, or in case there's more of personal activities that take priority. I still try and see if I can be mindful of how much of time I spend and see if I can strike, if not a perfect balance, but a balance that I consider sufficient.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Vaishnavi. I think the fact that you said that your definition of work-life balance is evolving depending on the situation and circumstances is very critical. If we stick with one definition and hold ourselves up against it, that's when all the issues arise. Thank you. Deepa, do you want to go? You're on mute, Deepa, if you're trying to speak. Yeah, I'm guessing Deepa might have stepped out for something, but let's continue. So just to recap our circle fundamentals, first one is confidentiality. Whatever gets discussed here, we will not share it outside. We will be open and transparent and honest in our communication. And the idea of a successful lean-in circle is realized only when whatever we commit to at the end of the session, we are going to be going back and delivering all of it. Otherwise, it becomes not a great exercise to um, complete. Yeah, it's just like hearing when we're not trying to do anything about it. We did have a promotional piece of information around the Empower program, which we've been running. The first batch went live and it was phenomenal. The feedback that we received was great. And the next batch is being planned on 20th and 21st May. It's a 2-day residential program. And for all participants of Leader Renew, there is a 20% discount too. So I will share the details of this on our WhatsApp group since we are very few here. There is a video that we had put together. Instead of watching the video, let's get on to the content. There are 2 pieces of free webinars that are also available to all our participants. I'm going to paste them in the text chat in case anybody wishes to register. I will also share this information in the main WhatsApp group for all of us to know. These are live virtual sessions and it would be great to have as many women as possible in these workshops. So with that, I had requested all of you to keep a notebook and a pen handy for the workshop. And here we come. It's going to be a reflective session where you're going to be thinking a lot. So if I'm going to ask you to first start with listing of things that are important to you in your life, definitely more than 5 and restricted to 10.
Things like?
Yeah, great question. It would look different, but I'm going to call out what my list was, Vaishnavi, so that you get a flavor of what those 10 things could look like. My list was family, learning, work that gives me happiness, friends, relationships, money, a good night's sleep, and health. Deepa, can you indicate to us that you are with us?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, thank you. I was wondering because the previous question, we did not hear you unmute and speak, but As long as you're with us, let's continue. If each one of you has the top, the important things in your life, at least 5 to 10, I'm going to move on to the next question, which is what are the 3 most important things? And how are you going to do that? The list that you have, just number them, which is ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. So quickly rank them in the order. And if you can just call out the top 3 in the group, that would be great.
So are we supposed to share it?
Yeah, the top 3. If you're ready, you can go.
Can I?
Yes, please.
So, rank 1 goes to family.
Hmm.
Rank 2 goes to my spiritual journey. Whatever I do spiritually, that's very important for me.
Sure.
And rank 3 is a tie between education and work.
If I were to force yourself to pick just one, what would it be?
Now, education, maybe a few years later, it'll be work.
Okay, education now. So probably work is the 4th one. Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Yeah, I'll go next.
Mhm.
First is my health. So
Mhm.
when I say health, it means both physical and mental health, all of that, emotional, everything included.
Mhm.
Second, family.
Mhm.
Third, financial freedom. So
Sure.
I'm trying to encompass everything into this, trying to be very greedy and selfish by using one term to include many things.
Sure.
Work, instead of calling it work and other things, I thought I'll call it financial freedom,
As
so
broad
that,
as possible.
I'll have everything. Yeah.
I love the grade. Deepa.
See, for me, it's again, if I have to put things sequentially, it is family,
Mhm.
financial,
Mhm.
and health.
And
Health.
health. Yeah. Lovely. Thank you for sharing these. Now, I don't want you to share it, but do look at what are the least 3. So you have a list of 7, 5, 7, 10, whatever. Look at the 3 things that are least important to you. They are important, but they're lower in the ranking of the 5, 7, 10 that you had started with. Just think through how much of your time and effort is going in the things that are less important versus more important. Just give it some thought.
I think in today's scenario, the biggest, uh, the most time spent on two things is very high.
Yeah.
One is mobile, and the other is why somebody said or did something
Lots of
which
thinking
was not
and
required.
lots of social media. And probably, Deepa, those things might not even appear in your list of important things, right?
Correct, correct.
And those are things that are consuming our time. That's a lovely point that you bring in, that things where most of our energy, a lot of our energy is being spent, are not even the important things. Yeah, glad that we realized. Let's move ahead. Yeah, anybody else has any thought to share before we move to the next slide?
Shanti, so these three least important things are not from the list we created.
For now, I have asked you to look at the top three and bottom three. Yeah, and
So it is from the list that we have
from the
created.
list only. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but Deepa brought out a point that the
Right,
place where she spends most time is not even there in the list. So it's not
correct.
important, yet she's spending time. And I guess that will be true to a number
Agree,
of us.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, possibly, chai with friends. All of these consume lots of time, effort, and energy and might not figure out anywhere in our important list. Yeah, with that, let's.
And also, there's something with it. We keep thinking on something which is really not important is how other person is behaving with you or reacting to you on something that is not even worth it.
Not worth it, but there is so much of energy and emotions that we spend on thinking, why did the other person say so? Why did the other person not say so? Why did the other person behave in a way or not behave in a way? No, lots of thoughts.
Correct.
Absolutely. Yeah, so here is a quick video. I'm hoping it will play. As expected, it is not, but I'm going to put it onto a browser and share directly from the browser.
Hi, hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike.
Okay, now I'm going to share. Can you see the video?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dan Thurman, author of the book Off Balance on Purpose. You know, the title and the concept of this book usually get some attention as people ask, wait a minute, off balance? I thought I was supposed to be trying to achieve balance. But the truth is, life is an off balance proposition. So let me explain one of the fundamental concepts of the book to help you understand the interconnected nature of life. And whether you're leading a team or applying it personally, this powerful model will help you to make strong decisions and take action to improve what matters most. With many responsibilities, ambitions, and commitments, your life is in constant motion, demanding your best efforts. And at times, you might find yourself struggling just to keep up with it. Well, like this. It's enough to make you want to yell, "Stop!" Cool. Now, it may feel like there are a million things happening at once, but in reality, for all of us, there are only 5, and they are all connected to one another in a pattern of action that is open to your influence and design. So, extending this analogy, let's explore the pattern comprised of the 5 spheres or 5 vital areas of your life: your work, relationships, health, spiritual growth, and personal interests. First, there's your work, your professional pursuits and commitments. Now, at work, you face challenges, competition, and constant change. So we're always trying to take our throws to higher and higher levels without mistakes or setbacks. Or perhaps you're just trying to find work or the right work that feels purposeful for you. But there's also your relationships, your family and friends, the people you care about and care for. Now, traditional balance books advocate that we should keep these 2 aspects separate so they don't influence each other. Of course, this is ridiculous, as they are constantly intersecting where it matters most, in your thinking and decisions. The third sphere is your health, your physical and mental fitness. And the integrity of this sphere determines in large part whether you'll even have the energy or the fuel to sustain your pattern and to follow through with your commitments. That's why health-related goals are vitally important. But not only are you trying to improve yourself physically, but also spiritually. And while spiritual growth means different things to different people, depending on personal beliefs, the desire to be on purpose requires us to renew our spirit and explore our spiritual purpose and practice our beliefs. This may also be where you incorporate philanthropy and volunteerism. You can probably see that there is still space in the pattern which is reserved for your personal interests. The things that you do, well, for you. These include your hobbies, your activities, and the subjects you love to learn. Our personal interests contribute greatly to our engagement of life and sense of purpose. As we move through life, these 5 spheres are in a constant state of flow, moving with one another in a pattern. In this example, that pattern takes the shape of an infinity sign, reflecting the infinite opportunities for you to apply yourself in these areas. There is truly no one like you, and there are infinite possibilities for how you can live your life. And yet, if you were to freeze frame life at any moment, like this, it doesn't look balanced at all. There are some aspects that are in your hand and other things that are completely out of your reach or your immediate influence. But because the spheres exist together in this pattern, even though some aspects may be out of your hands, they are still connected to you. And the real key is they are connected to one another. If we were to draw a line, and I call this a lifeline, between 2 spheres, in this case, your work and your relationships, that line represents the connection between those 2 vital aspects of your life. Now, if we restart your life pattern, you'll see that there are times that that connection between these 2 spheres is close, strong, and easily understood. We work to support our family. Our family and friends help us recharge and prepare for work. But you know, there are other times that it may be stretched to the limit. If you work towards strengthening the lifeline and giving that your attention, you will be able to withstand the occasions that stretch and test your work relationship lifeline. And those moments of trial can actually help make your lifeline stronger and increase its flexibility. We strengthen lifelines by intentionally improving the connections between our spheres. In total, there are 10 lifelines connecting your life pattern. Your work is connected to your health. Your health fuels your work efforts. But does your work support your desire to be healthy, or does it challenge it? And if so, how will you address that? At work, you have the opportunity to practice your spiritual principles and disciplines when you interact with others. Your work and your personal interests are also connected. Do you work in a field that interests you? Do you bring your interests into conversations you have with coworkers and customers? Are you in relationships that support your desire to be healthy and grow spiritually? What personal interests can you share with your friends and loved ones? How is your health connected to your spiritual growth? You know, you can get healthy and grow spiritually while pursuing personal interests. It's all connected. When life is in motion, the shapes and forms are constantly changing, but the lifelines of a strong life pattern will stretch and incorporate life's detours. It's not about balance, it's about integration, creating a life you love and helping others do the same, setting goals in each area in ways that they support one another, and living in a way that may be off balance, but is definitely on purpose, intentional, deliberate, and connected to a sense of meaning. The possibilities are truly infinite, and it's all in your hands.
What did we take from the video?
I like the interconnectedness between various elements.
Yeah. And even when I asked you in the beginning, what was your definition of work-life balance, you said, it is flexible. It changes from a day-to-day basis, depending on the circumstances and situations. And I thought it very well sit with this framework of work-life integration, where certain things are in our control at a point in time and certain things are not in our control at a point in time. Yeah. And how do we work with it? Lovely. What else? Vaishnavi, Vishwanathan, Deepa.
See, I guess the key, there was one more key message is that everything is not under your control. There are few things that you can control, and there would be couple of things or more things that are not under your control. You need to let go of them.
Lovely. So the analogy he used is throw that ball so high that by the time it comes back, there are other things that you have to deal with, you've dealt with, and then it's ready for that motion
Because you
that it
can't
can.
you can't juggle everything.
Yeah. Lovely.
Generally think balancing is holding everything, but
Ha.
yeah, letting go so as to balance.
Yeah, that's the myth. So technically, that technical definition of balance is not achievable. We'll just, overwhelm ourselves if we try to keep everything in harmony, everything balanced, nothing out of our hands, nothing out of our control. That's humanly not possible. So can we try to get to a place where we achieve this work-life integration, where we are focusing on things that are important for us at a point in time? 5 years from now, if you list out these 10 things again for yourselves, you will find things would change. Because at that point in time, like Vaishnavi said, that, for now it is career, for now it is studies, maybe eventually career will come up in the this thing. So things will change and evolve. Our top 10 will change, our top 3 within the top 10 will change, the bottom 3 will change, and all of those changes are expected. And we're going to try and figure out how are we going to create that work-life integration for ourselves to the rest of the session. Okay. So things which matter most must never be at the mercy of things which matter least. So in the list, you have identified the top 3, you've identified the bottom 3. Can you see if there is a relationship between the top 3 and the bottom 3? Are the top 3 in any way dependent on the bottom 3 being accomplished, achieved, real for you?
No, they are no way connected.
No way connected. You're in a very good spot, Deepa. Vaishnavi.
In fact, as I said, I have been greedy so that to encompass all possible things in the top 3, so that the bottom 3 are still already in there. For example, I had written movement, dance or workout as one of the important aspects for me, because I have realized
Health was your top
I don't
one.
do this.
Already there.
Yeah. When I don't do this, I've realized I'm not being myself. I'm losing something. I'm not completely happy or engaged with life, and which in return impacts my health or well-being. But then, just because I've mentioned health, so I think it's already taken care
It
of.
is already taken care of. Lovely. How about you, Vaishnavi?
Yeah, it was very surprising when I wrote the list. I missed out health. It was not there at all. So after Vaishnavi said, I added it as the 10th point. So I realized that I don't give it
You
much
want
priority.
it to be important now, just because it is on the important list for
Yeah.
somebody.
So don't worry, 10 years before, had someone asked me this question, I definitely would not have mentioned health.
Yeah.
So you're not.
I just realized that yes, it is important and it is related to the first 3 also. First 3 I can only do is I am taking care of my health.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so now that some of us, there is a relationship, some of the things.
Shanti, we are able to see your presenter view. I think others are also able to see the same.
Let me see how to change that. Use slideshow. No, I don't know what I did. 1 second. Maybe I need to unshare the, stop the slideshow, redo it, and then come
Right.
back. Yeah. Okay. So now, are you putting the things that are important to you? And the key question is, do you appear in the list of 10? I could hear uh, an implicit you in a couple of your responses, but I want you to have a look at it and tell me whether you yourself are appearing in the 10 most, 5 most, 7 most important things that you have listed. Any yeses, any nos?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I could guess that you put health, and health is always about self. So I'm glad that you put it. How about Vaishnavi and Deepa?
Yeah.
You also had it.
Yes, I also
Yeah.
have.
So,
Not health, but yeah, education. It's about me. So,
education is not about you.
oh, it's not. Okay.
Yeah. Education is something that you have to do for something. You have to do for your career. You have to do for meeting someone's expectation. Could be your expectation of yourself or your parents' expectation of you. Education is not for you. Health is definitely for you. So definitely, where are you? If you are appearing in the list, well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. If you're not, then can you add it? Can you add you as the first thing in that list and say, I'm going to take care of myself from here on? Let that be the first thing, and then we will move ahead. It could be culture, it could be our upbringing, that most Indian women tend to miss out self in that list of 10 most important things. It does end up being family, children, relationships, taking care of this, taking care of that, keeping a good house. And if they are career oriented, there'll be a career also within that. Work relationships will also be that. Managing my team will also be that. But in all of this, there is a tendency to miss. And I'm glad that the more I do these workshops, I'm seeing a change in how women are now putting themselves, even if it is implicit. I've not seen somebody who put, I am the most important thing for myself, but it is implicit. Like, I want to take care of my health. I want to pursue my passion. When these things appear, it means there is a focus towards what you want to achieve for yourself. So with that, if I'm going to ask you to call out, what is that one thing that you're going to start doing for yourself? What would you say? If you have to put yourself at the top of that list and say that I'm going to start doing XYZ for myself from today onwards, what's that going to look like?
Health. I start walking, and I have not done exercises for very long, for many years. So I think I would start with that.
You will start with that. How can you make it not just something that you're saying in a training session, but something that you're going to go back and implement? How are you going to hold yourself accountable to that?
Maybe I'll just start small so that I continue for a little longer. I mean, I continue and gradually I'll build up. I'll not start with
Starting small is a good strategy, and blocking your calendar or fixing a time or having an accountability partner will be some ways in which you can hold yourself accountable to what you are committing to right now. Yeah. Vaishnavi, Deepa, what are your for self activities?
For myself, what I want to start is basically somehow try and isolate myself from getting affected by reactions of other people.
And how do you plan to do that?
Basically, just start ignoring. In
Is it
computers, we learn the command of Control Alt Delete.
Yeah. Some Control Alt Delete to be done here. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what I started. Trying to stop thinking about it.
Hmm.
I've just recently started, so I'm still trying to figure out whether that's working or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Because last couple of years, I have seen major challenges in the stress level going up in my body, and things have been impacting me a lot. So
Mm.
eventually, that is what I analyzed, and then I thought, this is the best thing to do.
Very true, very true. And there is enough support and help available, Deepa, for you to be able to step back. When I say help, available in the form of certain groups and communities, available in the form of self-help documents or books available. And even your own willpower is a very powerful thing for you to exercise to say, I am not going to think about this. One way people have found very effective is to journal
Yeah,
their thoughts, whatever they have in their head, journal it, and that helps you to put things out of here onto a piece of paper. It helps you forget whatever thought process is cluttering your head at a point in time. So some ways, I will also share with you a group that I run, which is called as Peace and Abundance. Every month is focused on a theme, and there are daily nudges. This
Hmm.
month is um, practicing forgiveness. So we are
Hmm.
forgiving ourselves of the shame, we are forgiving ourselves of the guilt. It's a very, what do you call, stimulating exercise, and hearing all how people experienced it, how people are able to do it, not able to do it, all of that gets shared. And it forms a lovely community for you to, build your mental muscle along with all of them. So I will share that
Absolutely.
and see what emerges for you.
That would be great. But currently, I mean, as I said, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build my own willpower. Most
Lovely.
difficult task, but
It's
yeah,
a start.
eventually I will have to do it.
Start. Absolutely. Vaishnavi, what are you going to start doing for yourself?
As already said, health is definitely an important factor.
Mhm.
So I have realized that I need some form of movement to keep myself going, be it workout or dance. So the moment there's a small trigger, maybe there's a little bit of change in my health condition or there's more work, I immediately think, should I stop doing this? So
Hmm.
that I feel I won't be able to balance, in the traditional way. So I generally, this is what I did a couple of days ago. The moment I felt it so overwhelming, be it my physical health or work, and I said, okay, this month I'm not doing dance. But then I was feeling very bad. Why did I
Ah,
make that decision? I could have just waited, held for a little longer, and then probably tried. But then I had to communicate to my trainer that will not be available for the month. So I thought, when I'm very low, I just made a decision saying, no, not happening this month. So
hmm.
probably I'll try to be consistent as much as possible and not take decisions uh, with being very hasty in making decisions. I think that's something I must stop doing.
You
And
want to start. Maybe
yeah.
put up your top 10 list somewhere that is visible to you, so that when you're
Mhm.
making decisions, you are recalibrating. Am I putting the important things first, or am I moving it down the priority, thinking something else is more important?
Right. The other thing is, yeah, might sound a little, silly. Then would say, okay, this week I may not be able to attend. Next week I may not be able to attend. Why pay the fee for the entire month? All of this goes on in the head. But then I've realized few hundred should be okay,
And
considering the
the wonderful thing, if
priority.
you pay, you will go. Most
Right.
of the gyms work in that model. They will ask you to pay up for 3 months, for a year, because the chances are that you will show up uh, to the gym are far higher than when you say, if I come, then I will pay. Then the
Yeah,
chances are
yeah,
you
that's
turn up
true.
that many fewer times. Yeah. So, yeah, please pay up and hold yourself accountable to show up. Love.
Right.
Thank you, people. Thank you for the share. So here is a short story. Yeah, a lot of you may have heard it, especially if you're in L&D kinds of spaces. This is about a man who was passing by elephants. There was a Mahavat who was bathing some elephant. There were other Mahavats who were helping them, move around, etc. Then he stopped by a huge elephant. It was a very big, huge elephant, very aged one. And on its feet was a very thin string tied to a peg, loosely pushed into the mud. Even a 5-year-old kid can actually pull out that peg and set the elephant free, but the elephant would try to take a step forward, move until a point where the string is taut, and then come back. Again, it'll try to move, it'll go to uh, go to move so much so that the string is taut, but the moment it's tight enough, it'll come back. So the person asked the Mahavat, why is the elephant doing it? It has got the power to, uproot trees. Why can't it? We can't even call it uproot. A small peg on a loose mud. Why can't it just pull it out and just move away? The Mahavat told that when these elephants were young, were really tiny, we tied them to the same peg and the same string. At that point in time, they were not strong enough to break free. As a result, they have formed this belief that they can never break free of that string. As a result, even though they are far more powerful and mighty and big now, they believe they can't break free. So now I'm going to ask you to call out, what are your limiting beliefs that are holding you back? Are you able to think of any that you believe that, is a belief that I formed as a childhood may or may not be true now?
Emotional attachment.
Tell me more, Deepa.
Maybe, when you say emotional attachment, or it is a emotional behavior also. You are tuned since your childhood to behave in a particular manner. You are tuned, your system, your mind, your thought process is tuned to look at a situation and behave in a manner.
Yeah.
Just give me a second, I'll connect back.
Sure. Yeah. Vaishnavi, any thoughts that you want to call out, any limiting beliefs that is holding you back?
I've always thought that I would not be able to balance work and life. And again, life, specifically mentioning about my health. Having been a very sick child right from childhood and a sensitive child, I've always thought, or probably my family had told this to me, and I've believed it over time, that it will be very difficult for me to balance the two.
Yeah. In your head, there is this voice that keeps telling you, don't try to do everything, Vaishnavi, you won't be able to manage. Yeah.
Right.
Sure. Vaishnavi, how about you?
Me, nothing from childhood, but I feel that I've developed a limiting belief now. After having failed so many times, I feel that I cannot do big in life. So I just think that I'll settle for something small.
Who decided the definition of big for you?
Big. I don't know what big and small, but I feel that don't know how to say this, how to put this exactly, but just think. I've always seen myself innovating something new or doing something which is my unique selling point. So now I feel that I'll just do what everybody else is doing. Something I feel that is how it will go.
So you're starting to tell yourself you won't be doing anything creative and innovative. You'll be doing the generic stuff that
generic stuff only. Yeah.
Others are going.
You'll still try to connect with your creativity somehow. Don't worry. That innate desire to do something new will keep nudging you. You can see it in your work.
And that's going to be my next challenge to you. How are you going to liberate yourself from this limiting belief? What are you going to tell yourself? What are you going to do about it? Both of it.
You need some time to think about it.
Anything comes to your mind, Vaishnavi?
To me, I've started, so that itself is the first step. So, yes, I now know that I cannot say it's not possible at all. I need to learn to draw a line, and I'll have to start learning to manage the two, if not balance. But yes, how much of what, I'll have to figure it out as I go.
Yeah.
Without trying, I've been telling myself this won't be possible.
So instead of saying this won't be possible or I am going to learn how to do it, can you just tell yourself, I am going to do it. I am going to figure out a way to balance work and health. How does that sound to you?
Yes, I've started. My only concern has always been, would I be able to continue this way?
So there is another limiting belief that says that I can get started, but I may not be consistent.
Probably, yeah. Rather than saying not being consistent, over a period of time, there'll be a lot of
I might
change.
give up.
Yeah. That's the only.
That's a limiting belief for me also. I feel I cannot continue for long time. I feel
What
that I'll
needs to
stop.
happen for you to continue?
Sorry?
What needs to happen for you to continue?
I have no idea. I just think that I'll start and I'll not be consistent.
It's okay. Who said consistency is the only way to do things? In fact, that's one big reason why more than half of the New Year resolutions fail. So people will decide, I'm going to walk from tomorrow 30 minutes, I'm going to gym for 40 minutes, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. On 31st night, they're going to party like hell. And first, they can't get up. The day they are not able to do it, they give up on it completely, thinking I won't be able to do it. Not doing it on first, not doing it on second, and picking it up on third is also a great way. So consistency is something we tell ourselves. It is a limiting belief that only if I am consistent does it mean that I'm doing a good job of it.
Yeah, maybe consistency does not mean every day. It just means that you don't leave it.
You don't give up. Exactly. You
Up.
come back to it. Figure out a way to come back to it. So again, I'll go back to that balls example, the juggling example, where when you know that another ball is more important, it is going to come and fall into your hand. Whatever is in your hand, just throw it away. So which means you're not focusing on that ball. At some point in time, it could be your health. At some point in time, it could be your spirituality. At some point in time, it could be your work. But focus on what is important right now. And that's why I liked Vaishnavi's definition, where things are flexible and things can change and evolve. Um, things can change and evolve. Yeah. Okay, with that, we move on. Work-life integration basically means all of this. I won't spend much time here. What is your renewed new definition of work-life balance now? Did it change?
Yes, for me it changed, I guess. Before, like I thought that everything has to be done correctly at the same time. Was what
Correctly at the same time and always.
Always, yeah, always.
Yeah.
Now I think it has changed. Things that are a priority has to be done first.
Now other things can wait, and things will have different priorities at different points in time. Yeah. And as you said, you don't have health in your top 10 because this age is to be in the best of your health. Health will start coming into the list only when you see, health hasn't come into my hands. That ball hasn't fallen into my hands in a long while. That's when you will realize, it has to come back. Yeah. So Vaishnavi, any change in your definition of work-life integration?
It remains almost the same, Shanti, just that maintaining all the components almost always, just not leaving it off at any point in time.
So here is one more quote. Work is a rubber ball. If you drop it, it will bounce back. The other 4, which is your family, spirituality, friends, relationships, and health, are glass balls. If you drop these, they will either crack or break, even shatter, which means work should be placed at the bottom of your priority list. And we unfortunately place it at the one among the top things. It is easier said than done, because some of us may have dependencies for working. Some of us, it may be an aspiration for us to do something. For some of us, it may be a need. So things may differ for each one of us. The idea is, if you miss some work aspect on a particular day, nothing is going to fall apart. Yeah. What will happen? Your manager may get angry. Your peers will blame you. And then 2 days later, you'll all be having chai together. Yeah. But if your health goes for a toss, or your relationships go for a toss, they cannot be brought back. That ball cannot be put back. Yeah. It's not going to bounce. It's going to shatter. So keep that in mind. And as I said, who can you partner with to get to your work-life integration? Here I ask you to name that person for yourself. You don't need to share it. Just put it down. Who are you going to tap into and say, this is my work-life integration, ka new definition, and here is how I need your help and support in staying true to my definition. So that will help both of you, where you say, no, I'm scared that I won't be consistent. I'm scared that I will want to do everything at the same time. So this person will be the person who will hold you accountable and say, maintain balance. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do this at this point in time. Quickly think of that person and then we'll move ahead. Just let me know once you have that person and you've written it down.
Done.
Done, Vaishnavi? Lovely.
Done.
Yeah, so don't think outside the box. Think like there is no box. I really love this quote primarily because we all, when we say no, think out of the box, which means we are still restricting ourselves to. There is a box. That is the restriction. Why do we even need the box in the first place? When we are being creative, can we just not bother about the box and just think? With that said, what are you going to do differently good to get to your definition of work-life balance? Call out that one thing that you're going to start to do differently from today. When I did this exercise for the first time, the statement I had written was, I will not bother if the clothes are not folded properly, not kept in the proper place, still hanging outside in the line. I will not bother about it. That was my statement.
For me, I think it would be, it's okay if I miss out a day or two. I'll again get back up and I'll continue.
Get back, yeah.
For me, it is not to overthink.
Not to overthink.
What
if
if,
Deepa
what
would
if,
have been
all
here,
those
I'm
what
guessing
ifs.
she would have also said that, not to overthink. Yeah.
Yeah, there will be a lot of what ifs running behind. So I should stop doing it. I mean, stop thinking and just keep doing.
Just keep doing. And a good practice might be to list out whatever is on your plate on a particular day and prioritize that list for that day, saying and just telling yourself, see, in my 24 hours, I need 8 hours of sleep. I need 4 hours for this. I need 4 hours for that. So this is the time I have left to do all of the remaining work. And in this time, I can only manage these 3 things or 4 things, which means the remaining things have to be either reprioritized or handed over to somebody else. Just calling it out, saying, even things like, today I am in back-to-back meetings till 9:30. I cannot step out and make dinner. So the thing is, I've told my children, you have to manage your own dinner. My son will come, he will make. So don't hesitate to ask for help. And if we don't ask for help, nobody will know. Yeah, that help could be from your family, from your peers, from your managers, from your relationships. That help can come in from any direction. So don't hesitate to ask help from people who really care for you. Again, I love this quote: to have someone who never makes a mistake, never finds her personal life in disarray, never worries about work life balance, I think would be unreal, which means we have to give ourselves permission to go wrong, to fail, to falter. So, my next question is, what permissions are you going to give yourself?
It would help if I have some example because I'm not able to
Think
think.
of it. Okay. When I did this exercise, my permission to myself was, I don't need to be the best of the home care, the person who takes care of the home. I don't need to be the best of them. It's okay to be not perfect. That's the permission I gave myself. It started with being okay with clothes not being folded properly at the proper time, in the proper way, kept in the proper place. I used to be cynical about it so much that, the maid would fold it. I'd come back and keep mumbling, she's not done it properly. I'll open every piece of cloth, refold it in front of her, spending the same amount of time and energy that was not required.
There's this permission that I want to give myself, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to give that to myself.
What is that permission?
It's actually about my integrity. I just feel that I hold too much on that. Not even letting go of a small mistake. I was just telling Vaishni the other day about my insurance, health insurance. So what had happened was, I had just recently, do we have time?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I had just been diagnosed with thyroid that moment, and my insurance went off because I was 25 and a girl. So they removed it from my dad's this thing. So I was diagnosed with thyroid. I had a lymph node and all. So I did FNAC, biopsy and all happened. So there was a lot of things. After that, we had to apply for insurance. If it would have been just a month before, it wouldn't have caused an issue. So the insurance guy calls up and he asks, it's very general. They ask everything. What is there, what is not. So I told him that I got a biopsy done. I did FNAC, everything I told. He rejected. He said, it's not acceptable. We'll not insure your health. Then again, I did the same with another company. By then, that insurance agent we had, he had warned me that don't tell. It's okay. I was like, no, he's insuring my health. If I get sick, he's going to pay me. So I should be like, I should tell him all the material facts is what I told him. So I again told, and again it did not happen. So I ultimately I could not do anything. I had to hide that information from the next insurance company because insurance agent was getting irritated. My family members were getting irritated. But even after I did not tell them I got an insurance, everything happened. I could not sleep for almost 5-6 days. I was like, I lied to the agency and I got myself an insurance. It appears to be a very small thing, but it had impacted me so much that I don't know if it's right or wrong, or I really don't know. But
yeah, it has to make you feel comfortable. That's the only thing. Right or wrong should be only as per you, not as per the norms of what your parents say, the adults in the family say, or the insurance agent says, or any of your friends say, or me, or Vaishnavi, or Deepa, or any one of us say. It should not be that. What is right for you should only be what makes you feel right. If it makes you feel right, go ahead and do. Yeah, technically, had the same insurance happened a month ago, and then now you were diagnosed with thyroid, they could not have done anything. They are there to help and protect you. Yeah. So I'm not saying if it was right or wrong, just think through it. If it feels right, don't bother about it. And yeah, integrity definitely has different meanings, different definitions for different people. And yeah. So what are you going to permit yourself to? What is the permission?
not overthink too much on these lines. Just see what is right for me at that moment.
It's right for you. Sure, thank you. Deepa, you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm not sure when you joined, but I'll still ask this question of you. What permission can you give yourself?
See, permission that I would like to grant myself would be to uh, not feel guilty to the actions where I am trying to do something or react in a manner that is going to protect me or that is going to buy peace to myself.
So instead of saying, I would like to give myself permission, can you rephrase that and say, I give myself permission to, and say that all over again?
I give myself permission
Mhm.
to do things without feeling guilty that would protect or give peace to my mind.
Yeah, yeah. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. So the next quote is, everyone is so addicted to the idea of passion that if they're not getting paid for it, they're not doing anything meaningful. And unfortunately, that is really not true. If your passion and your career become the same, you can have a passion fatigue. Because if you have to do that day in and day out, you're not doing it for your enjoyment. You're not doing it for your relaxation. You're not doing it for your mental peace. You're not doing it to just be yourself, but you're doing it to earn. You're doing it to please somebody. You're doing it to take care of your family. You're doing it to something. There is a reason. And when there is a reason to your passion, the enjoyment starts to reduce. So don't bother if your passion is different from what your career is. Be happy that now you have another way to relive your passion, to figure out how you want to re-energize, to chill. So now I'm going to ask you, what is that one passion that you've put aside for a very long time and you're going to restart now? What is that going to be?
I'd already restarted a few years ago. I just need to continue doing it.
Continue the dance part of it. Lovely.
For me, I
Can I
think,
go?
yeah. Please, please.
No, no, go ahead. You started all. Go ahead, I'll go later.
Okay. Like, nothing, just music. I stopped my bhajan classes and everything, so I think I really enjoy
And that even feeds into your need for spirituality. You said spirituality is
spirituality.
very high in your priority. Lovely. Deepa.
See, for me, after I quit my job, I had taken up course for on aroma fragrances,
Hmm.
and I did that for 2 3 years, and I used to get a lot of peace of mind and satisfaction in creating something or the other with oils,
Hmm.
and on and off I keep doing that uh, whenever there is a need. I think I would like to restart that again, and uh, some amount of gardening as well.
Lovely. And rather than doing it when in need, do it when you want. And
Yeah.
do it now. Yeah. Lovely. So we've discussed a few things, your new definition of work-life balance, what limiting belief you are going to overcome and what you're going to tell yourself, who is going to be your accountability partner, and now the new permissions you're giving yourself, etc. So now if I'm, and you're, of course, your, how do you rekindle your passion? What are you going to do to reward yourself when you're fulfilling all that you are committing today in the call? The reward need not be big. It could be as simple as I'm going to have a cup of masala chai after I do my 30 minutes of dance, after I've created something around fragrances today. It could be anything.
So this is nothing related to personal or work, or this is in general.
In general.
Okay.
Me time. I'll just have some probably 30 minutes to 1 hour of me time where I do anything I feel like doing.
You do anything you feel like doing. Lovely.
Yeah. That time where, I decide what to do without having to schedule or block my calendar or decide what to do.
Yeah. It just happens in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that moment, hopefully, you're not a mother, you're not a wife, you're not a team member, you're not a sister, you're not a daughter-in-law, so and so. You are just you. Yeah. Lovely. Vaishnavi Deepa.
I'll just go out and eat amazing food. That's what I'll do.
Lovely.
I actually agree to both of you. and
Me
I
time
keep
with food.
switching. And I keep switching, between me time and food,
And
depending on
maybe
my
it's
mood.
both. Yeah, maybe it's both. Depends on the mood. If today I feel like just being with myself, that's what I will do. Today I feel like just, eating a fancy dish. Why not? Lovely. The last story of the day, and we will close with this. Um, this is a beautiful story. It is a very old story where a king wanted to really figure out who in their country is really sincere. And to do that, he placed a boulder on a roadway and he hid himself to watch and see what others are doing. So some of the very wealthiest people who were being pulled by human or animal carts, they came up to that stone and they started complaining, complaining that oh my God, there's a stone, nobody's removing it. Hey, mason, why aren't you removing it? Hey, potter. So everybody who did the lowly jobs according to that rich man, he would call out and say, why aren't you doing this? Some of them just sat back and said, okay, no point trying to do anything today. They turned away and they went back. Some of them got off, walked across the boulder, took another vehicle and then another chariot or whatever, and then they moved ahead. Then there was this small fruit seller who had a kutti fruit basket on his head, and he walked up to the stone and he looked around with so much of chaos happening on both sides of the boulder. He put his basket aside, took a log, and tried to move the boulder. With lots of effort, he was able to move the boulder, and there was a bag of gold below the uh, boulder. So he picked it up and he was about to say, whose is it? Somebody's has fallen. The king appeared and said, this belongs to you. Any idea why?
Sorry, I missed the last part.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was that?
me too.
Yeah, so this fruit seller, he picked up a log and with lots of effort, he finally toppled the boulder over to one side of the road and the road was freed. The moment the boulder toppled, there was a bag of gold beneath the boulder. He picked it up and he was looking around to see if there is an owner for that bag of gold. And the king appeared just at that point in time and said, this bag of gold belongs to you.
Okay.
Why did the king offer the bag of gold to the
Ownership.
taking ownership? Lovely. Not waiting for somebody else to move the boulder. All of us will have boulders in our way. We will have conflicting priorities. We will have family that demands more. We will have a manager that demands more. We will have a team member that demands more. We will have a sick child, a sick parent, a sick in-law, a sick partner at home. We will have our health falling apart on certain days and perfectly fine on certain days. So we will encounter these boulders. We have to take accountability to topple that boulder to receive that gold. We have other choices too, and unfortunately a lot of us make those other choices of complaining, saying that somebody else hasn't done the job, or just walking across the boulder, figuring out a new path and saying, okay, I don't care if the boulder is there, I will have to figure out something. Or some of us give up and walk back, like some people in the boulder story did. So my request to you would be to figure out what needs to be done. Don't hesitate to ask for help. Just call out, I'm struggling with this today. I'm struggling to keep up my health. I'm struggling with the financial situation. I'm struggling with an emotional situation, whatever it be. Just talk to the people that you trust. Remember that one person I made you list who is going to be your accountability partner. Go back to that person and share. You will receive lots of help. So with that, we do come to the end of the session. I will stop sharing. A quick check. How was the session? Was it helpful? What are you taking back?
Yes, it helped in reinforcing my beliefs and my priorities. So, yeah, thank you for that
Lovely.
thought.
I enjoyed the session a lot. And I have a lot of takebacks actually. The most important thing was prioritizing what is important at that point in time. Because I always thought that everything has to be done perfectly. Like everything should be taken care of. Maybe that's one of the other reasons that I keep on forgetting things is what I feel. So,
Also check the definition of your perfect. Who has created that definition of perfect? Perfect according to whom? Are you holding yourselves up to a particular standard that nobody is asking of you? Yeah, just check, where did that definition of perfect come from? Is it true in the situation you are in? Thank you. Deepa?
Yeah, I guess you're right. For me, today's takeaways are to start with, though we know, you know, things that are not important to us, we are wasting our time out there. That is one. So we need to do something about that and start focusing on important things in our life. That is first takeaway. Second takeaway for me is, what am I doing about uh, the passion that I have held, what I like to do uh, in my life. I mean, what I used to do, I used to enjoy, but then I have suddenly stopped doing anything about it. So how do I restart that so that I can have something which I appreciate about
That sense of integration will happen once you rekindle that passion once again and start doing it. Otherwise, there's always this vacuum. I'm not doing it, I'm not doing
See,
it, I'm not doing it.
I mean, along with integration, it is also appreciation.
It is.
Appreciation of myself. It's of my act.
So beautiful.
And that is, it actually helps in improving my own self-esteem and self-value, if I'm correct.
Oh, you are absolutely correct. Not if you're correct, you are correct.
And
Lovely.
third is
Go ahead.
ownership. Third
Ownership.
is ownership. Take ownership in what you do.
So glad. So glad. Great. Thank you. And look forward to meeting you again next month with a different topic. And see you all soon. Take care. Bye bye.
Hey, please share the other group that you mentioned about.
Will do. Will do.
Yeah. Thank you.
You want me to paste a link here for joining that group?
Or you can paste it on the
WhatsApp group. Chalega? Yeah, will do. Will
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.